Today, in this lecture, we will talk about what is data binding and what are the different types of data binding available in the Angular. Let's see what is data binding. Angular data binding is a powerful feature that allows you to establish a connection between the component of your Angular application and synchronize the data between them. So, what that means, if we have a component here and we have a view, so component class, it's a component class, and we have some variable like a, and it's a view. So if we want to communicate between view uh, uh, component class to view class, that's called a data binding. We have different types of data binding available. One is one-way binding and another one is two-way binding. And let's see one by one. We have two types, one-way binding and two-way binding. What is one-way binding? One-way data binding is something when from class component to view, we passing the data from or communication between the from class to view, which is also called as data binding, and we can achieve from view to class, which is a component class, using event. And two-way binding is the combination of both, where the communication between class to view and view to class, it's a combination of data binding and event binding. So now let's see with example. Let's run this program, ng surf, that we have used for the that's the project that we are using from the start. So first, this pattern where the string is here and we have defined a variable and using it here like this, it's a string interpolation. So in a one-way binding, we have just we can just communicate from component class to the view class or from view to the component class. Let's look at first from component class to the view class. Let's have an image, and we can have it like this, and I have already a variable called image URL, and the image URL is this, and we can just provide the image URL. Let's have width also here, width let's say 200 px, and the image is here. So we have defined the image in the component class and we have accessed that image in the view. Now let's see a event or it's a one-way binding. So we have another type is event, from where we can bind the data. Let's use it like define a button, and for event we can use it like this, curly braces, click, and the function name. Let's name this function click me, and let's define let's have it here, click me. And let's do one thing. Whenever we click, we increase a counter with 1. So have a counter also here, counter, and we need to define this counter in here, counter which is a number, do it with 0, and define a function. We have used click me, so let's define this function click me, and in here counter plus plus. So whenever we click, the counter is increased by 1 and it's reflecting it here. So let's do it. Hit the click. That's working fine. We have click and pass the data to the component, and that component is increase the value and reflect it here. So now both of them are the one-way data binding. So if we want to use for the two-way binding, we need to use like ngModel. So for the ngModel, what we can do is first import this form, import forms from form module, and we need to import it here also, form. What's the issue? Forms module, and here also forms module. Okay, so the forms module is included, and we can use like for the input test, and we have this and then this ngModel, and we need to define a variable. Let's say it text. We need to define it here also, text with string data type, and which have default value is blank. And here let's show this value to right here. We are displaying it, and let's see. In here, if I write hello, the hello is printed. So whenever I type something here, the value is changed in the variable itself. We are not using any click function or string interpolation, or we can use it like this. If I change this value from the class, let's say click me, and I change this value to something like hello. Whenever I click, the value of this text is changed to hello. So let's try it. 234 HHH. When I click, it's turned to hello. This is a two-way data binding. Whenever I change the value from here, it changes there. If I change the value from the class component, it changes the value on the view. That's called a two-way data binding.